believes I can't sleep.
It's time to listen to Courtney at last on the Ramblings of an Insomniac podcast.
Hello, welcome to another episode of the Ramblings of an Insomniac. I am on a walk with one of our customers' dogs. I walk him twice a week, sometimes 3 times a week, and we walk for like a half an hour, 45 minutes. So I figured, hey, why not do a podcast? Kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone, you know? I had a whole bunch of stuff I wanted to talk about, and I had it written down. And because I'm not at home, I don't have it in front of me. So I had this genius idea to multitask and do a podcast. And then I just now realized, what the hell am I going to talk about? Because I got nothing. I've got absolutely nothing. But I will say, I absolutely can't tell you how much I am so appreciative, so grateful to everybody that has been listening, all of you that have been tuning in when you have a million other options, and yet you're willingly choosing to listen. Or maybe you're not willing. Maybe it's like a torture kind of thing. Maybe you're being forced to listen to me. I don't know. I hope that's not the case. I hope I'm not being used as some type of punishment. You will listen to 5 episodes of the Ramblings of an Insomniac. And it's some kind of like not prison sentence, but some type of punishment. That'd suck. But, I mean, maybe you'll end up liking it. So, hey, what has been keeping me up? Holy cow, I've got a wily dog on me. What has been keeping me up? Oh, good gravy. Well, let me just tell you. Let me first brag about my grandson. I don't know. I know that we all do this. We all think that our kids or our grandkids are like incredibly smart. And I'm sure that more often than not, we're just biased and, maybe they're dumb shits and we just think they're smart. But I'm telling you, my grandson is 2. He's 2 years old. And I don't know if you guys have heard of the game Bop It. It's like bop it, twist it, pull it. And it's this game that you hold and you have to like push the button when it says bop it. And you have to twist this thing when it says twist it. And you have to pull a thing when it says pull it. And you have to do it fast. If you don't do it fast, it'll count it as that you didn't do it correctly and you failed the mission. He is 2, and you guys should try this. If you don't have the game Bop It, try. But he's 2 years old. And he can get up to 30. He can get up to 30, which takes an exceptional amount of coordination. It takes a lot of critical thinking and hand-eye coordination, and he can do a better job than I can. I'm a grown-ass adult, and he is 2. He also can count to 24, and he can do a lot of sign language. So he is a smart kid, and it's crazy. It's crazy when you think of the things like when you go to school. I remember being in school, and I think of the things that I was taught. And I remember there was one of my friend's kids, and they were like in 3rd grade, and they were being taught stuff that I'm like, what the hell? I don't think that we learned that shit in 3rd grade. Like, I don't know if you remember when you learned to read. I think we kind of learned our basic stuff, like our alphabet in I don't know, preschool or kindergarten, I guess, in America anyway. I don't know about other countries. America, we're all a bunch of obese, lazy, illiterate, dumb shits. We're like the low on the totem pole because of our education system. Our educational system is just crap and always has been. But I feel like even back when we weren't so shitty, I don't remember learning like multiplication in second or third grade. I feel like we learned like addition and subtraction. I don't know, maybe we learned multiplication in third grade, but things like basic stuff, 1 times 1, 2 times 2. But I swear kids now are learning a lot more complicated math, I feel like. But then there's other areas I'm like, oh my God, you guys are all a bunch of dumbasses. Because again, America is way behind when it comes to education. We have our Democrats to thank for that because actually, was No Child Left Behind? I think that was actually Reagan. So Nancy Reagan. I know she meant well, but it's kind of an epic failure because children should be left behind if they are not up to snuff. If they don't know what they need to know, if they don't know how to read or write or do mathematics, then you at least up to what they're supposed to. That's why there's supposed to be state testing. We're supposed to have, we're supposed to be testing our schools and our teachers and our students to make sure that the teachers and the school board are keeping us where we should be, making sure that we are up to par with our state tests and stuff, that we know how to read and write. Like, I don't know what percentage, like what you're supposed to be at, but we're supposed to be monitoring that and making sure that our kids can actually read and write and do mathematics when they go to the next level, when they go to the next grade. And we certainly should know how to do that when we are graduating from high school. Yet, in the great state of Oregon, it's not necessary. You do not have to read. You don't have to read English. You don't have to speak English. You don't have to be able to write a sentence or a word in English. And you certainly don't need to know mathematics because, hey, how important is it to read, write, spell, speak, or do math? Nah, you don't need that. Now, if you know it all in Spanish, well, then there you go. Go ahead, graduate, because we know how important it is to speak and read and write in Spanish in America. When you're living in the United States, you should be able to read and write in every other language in the world except for your own, which is English. Because, it's super important to know like French or German or every other language in the world other than, the country that you live in. Because, again, we apparently do not prioritize being intelligent at all. And it shows because walking around every day, we're running into a bunch of dumbasses. However, that said, it was so wonderful to hear that apparently a lot of the millennials, I'm assuming after Charlie Kirk and Joe Rogan and Ben Shapiro did their podcasts and have been going out and crusading to find the truth, to speak the truth. I think that millennials were listening. Who knew? Who knew they could listen? But they could. And I'm pleasantly surprised. So kudos to you. I think that because you were listening, because you were willing to be educated and take in facts, you were able to form choices on your own. And look what you did. I'm pretty sure that's how Trump, a large part of why Trump is in office. Our younger generation is going out and listening, and that's good to hear. I really hope our education system steps it up. And it sounds like Trump really wants to revamp everything, which would be wonderful because we need to make it up to the state. We need to take it out of the government's hand. And the government does not need to be mandating anything when it comes to education. The government needs to stay the hell out of everything, frankly. So it'd be great if we had our states decide, like this critical race theory. If California wants to do critical race theory, okay. But it shouldn't be that because California or Oregon or Washington wants it, it shouldn't be that Oklahoma and Alabama and Kentucky have to do it. And vice versa. If other states don't want to teach about critical race theory, then they don't have to. That doesn't mean that Oregon should be denied that if they want it. Just like abortion. I'm glad that Trump wants to put it back in the state's hands. He's not taking it away. He's being pretty darn bipartisan. He's not taking away rights. I get really tired of people being like, I didn't vote for Trump because I believe in women's rights. If you equate abortion, if you're going to equate abortion with women's rights, that's pretty disgusting. So you're sitting here telling me that you are pro your daughter going out and having an abortion instead of maybe being pro education on protection and birth control and maybe waiting until you're married. Why are we promoting abortion like it's the cool thing to do or like it's the only option? If we are genuinely for women's rights, then that means the woman's right to be educated on all options. What options are available for a woman to not have a baby? Well, use protection, or there's always abstinence. Don't have sex, or wait until you're married and use birth control until you decide you want a baby. And then if you do get pregnant, what about adoption? I think we need to, if we're genuinely into women's rights, they have the right to be educated on other options than abortion. That shouldn't be something that we're promoting. And people are like, oh, Trump wants to take it away. No, he doesn't. He wants to put it back in the state's hands. And then people are like, well, what if I don't live in a state that's for that? Well, drive your ass over to another state. Or how about just, I don't know, keep your legs closed. There's that option. Now, I got pregnant at 18, had a son at 19, and then had a son at 23. I was young and decided not to have an abortion. And obviously I'm very, very happy about that because I love my son and I'm glad he's here. I don't know what I would do without either of them. So if we're talking about women's rights, I mean, look, Trump has the very first chief of staff. So he has a woman basically bossing him around, a woman that he is going to and confiding in and getting advice from. So if he hates women so much, why does he have a woman chief of staff and a press secretary that's a woman? Interesting. Things just don't add up. Just like they must be, again, from the United States because we're dumb shits and we don't promote addition. We don't promote math. So no wonder things don't add up. Things don't add up because usually it's a liberal that's saying it and you guys aren't for education and you can't do math. So it's crazy. I'm very, very worried. I'm incredibly worried about Trump and his staff because there are already a bunch of absolute extremists out there that are promoting the assassination of Trump and his administration already. They're already promoting another assassination attempt. And if Elon and Vivek and Trump cut back on CIA and FBI and cut back a lot of the government jobs, there are going to be people gunning for them. There are definitely going to be people that is not going to sit well with. And I am incredibly, incredibly concerned that there are going to be people plotting some serious crap. I'm worried because JFK wanted to make a change. Martin Luther King wanted to make a change. And people that want to make drastic changes tend to get killed because the government is disgusting, especially the left-wing extremists. They are all about death, 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 kill, kill, kill. Power, power, money, money. So I'm worried. But man, if everybody just leaves Trump and his administration the fuck alone, man, this country is going to be absolutely on fire. We are going to be unstoppable. And there are other countries that I'm hoping will back down because they know that Trump means business. They know that Trump's not fucking around. So hopefully, right now, of course, with Biden and Harris, they're a bunch of wimps who don't care about us. So, and, I feel, well, I don't want to say I feel bad for Putin because that makes me sound like I like the guy, but it is frustrating when Putin has been like, okay, America, don't do this. And then we do it. And then he's like, hey, seriously, for real, don't do this. And then we do it. And he's like, hey, seriously, for real, don't do this. Now he's like, you guys, I said to stop freaking doing shit. Now I'm going to blow up something in the UK. I'm going to blow up something in the UK. And you can't stop me because my missiles are better than your missiles. And my missiles cannot be fucked with, basically. So I told you to stop. You didn't stop. You didn't listen. Now I got to nuke something. But I find it interesting that they're nuking something because NATO is being so aggressive and because NATO's garbage. And that's why Trump didn't want to be part of it. And we shouldn't be. But it's funny because we just keep fucking with him. And he's like, listen. So then he's like, fine, I'm going to basically take a missile to something in Europe. And we're like, all right, who cares about France? Just kidding, France. I'm just kidding. I do not want France to be blown up at all. I don't know. I'm really feeling like things are so hopeful with Trump, but also very scary because, again, I'm genuinely concerned that when you're trying to get rid of the CIA and FBI, who is Trump going to go to? Are they really going to try to protect him? I mean, they did a really shitty job before. And if they know that their job is at risk, they're definitely not going to be trying to stop any bullets. I don't know. What do you guys think? Who knows? But I am hopeful. I'm really hoping that things will there's already, the stock market is doing better. I think people are thinking, wow, the economy is actually probably going to start going up. Things are going to be on the up and up. And I hope that's true because Lord knows we could use it. Now I hope that Canada and Australia and New Zealand and England get their shit together because their countries aren't doing so great. They're ran by crazy people. And, like I've said before, it's not the countries I don't like, it's their governments. It's their government I don't like, not the people. I have nothing against the people, just the government. Anyway, man, I had so many things I was going to talk about. I had them all written down. Like I said, I just really was like, all right, let's do a podcast. And then I'm like, well, shit, I have nothing whatsoever to talk about. I can discuss the fact that there's been so many adjustments when you, like I said before, when you move, when you get out of a situation that's probably not the healthiest and you decide to get out of that situation, even though you're going to a healthier one, it's still a huge change and it takes a lot of adjusting. And so it's weird, but you also realize what you will tolerate and what you won't tolerate, what your boundaries are. You kind of learn, hey, I'm worth a heck of a lot more than what I have, what I've allowed. I've allowed myself to be treated like crap, and I don't know why. So it's a good feeling. So if you're out there and you're debating, should I stick around for this nonsense? Should I stay in this relationship? If it's an unhealthy one for either of you, or especially if you have children, then no, you should not. Of course, you should always, always try counseling first. Try working it out first. Unless it's an unsafe, abusive relationship, then, probably just get the heck out of there. But otherwise, you should try counseling and try to make it work, because too many people now just get married when they barely know each other and they don't discuss the big things like, hey, do you want kids? Where do you want to live? What type of job? Like, you have to discuss big stuff. You can't just get married on a whim. And then people act like getting divorced is no big deal. They act like abortions and divorce are no big deal. I mean, so many celebrities in particular get married and then divorced 5 seconds later. We do not care, apparently, about life. We don't care about babies' lives. We don't care about our lives. We don't care about the quality of life. We just act like everything is so dispensable. We can just throw it away and get something new. Oh, my cell phone broke. I'm just going to throw it away and get a new one. Well, they're fucking expensive. We waste food. We're like, pile on the food like Thanksgiving is coming up. Thanksgiving's coming up, and Americans, being the gluttons that we are, we're going to fill up our plates. We're going to put a crap ton of food, and then we're not going to eat most of it. We're going to completely waste most of it. Because again, that's what we do. We are uneducated, obese people. But damn it, I love America. I love America and all of our stupidity and all of our nonsense and all of our lazy obesity. I still love us because you know what? We're also badass in a lot of other ways. And I'm so thankful to live in this country. With Thanksgiving coming up, I'm very thankful. I'm thankful to be an American citizen. And I'm really hoping that this whole patriotism thing is catching on. It seems like it is. So with Thanksgiving around the corner, what are you thankful for? We spend so much time being negative, and whining and complaining. And I've been to third world countries, and really, we have nothing to whine and complain about. Even our homeless people have more than people in third world countries. Even our homeless people have access to food and water and shelter. They don't have access to water or clean water or food or shelter in a lot of countries. There's so many people starving and don't even have running water. So for Thanksgiving, I hope we all are thankful. Again, even if you're homeless, you usually have access to so much more than even people in third world countries do. So I'm incredibly grateful for having a roof over my head, for having food to eat, more of it than I need. We should never be throwing food in the garbage. We should just put a little on our plate, start with a little. We're just like, food, 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 cell phones, give me money, give me food, give me toys, give me candy, give me more, I need, I want. It's such a sad mentality. It's a sad mentality, but hopefully we'll just be thankful for waking up and being alive. I know I will. I'll be grateful to be alive and see my kids and see my grandkids, see my dogs. So I hope we can all spend time being grateful, being thankful, being appreciative. And I'm wishing you a happy Thanksgiving. I'm wishing you a happy week, a happy day. And just remember to put one foot in front of the other. And thank you so much for everybody out there listening to another episode of The Ramblings of an Insomniac. Until next time.